I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much for presenting all our panelists. And I think our panel is very interesting because it is human capital. And when we speak about nutrition, we're investing in a health nation. And I think it is the most important for every nation to have healthy children. So, and we have one issue. Our time is very tight. So we're supposed to discuss 2 questions, but right now, as I understand, we have time only for 1. So I ask you to be very strict, to be very straightforward. And I think all of us have only 2 or 3 minutes for this question. So let's start. Our questions and our tracks is about our country's experiences in the school nutrition reform and our opportunities and challenges that we are looking forward. So in Ukraine, our reform started only 5 years ago under the leadership of our First Lady, Olena Zelenska. And I think that united different ministries such as Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Agriculture to work together on this reform. And now we have very good results. We provided very healthy school meals for more than 1 million children already, students. It is for 1st and 4th grades. And we are going to expand this program in the next year. In our budget for 2026, we are going to cover 3 million students in all grades. So we're very proud of it. And for us, it is human capital as investment, as I mentioned. We have very difficult times right now. Our country is in war with a very big neighbor. And of course, we are building schools underground right now, but still, after the Soviet Union, we have a lot of schools. Some of them are very old. And we have to change these food blocks. And you just can imagine that in one hand, we have to build our schools under the ground in order to protect our children from the rockets. In other hand, we have to renovate our food blocks in order to put new equipment there, in order to prepare healthy food. The next challenge is the people. We don't have enough cooks, so we have to train them. We have to train, I think, in two next years, we have to train 6,000 chefs and cooks in order to prepare this healthy food for our children. It is also a challenge because a lot of people going to frontline, and it is very challenging to find proper people to cook food. Of course, it is new standards. But new standards, it is not a problem when you're speaking only about the children. Children are very clever. The main challenge is to change mindset of the parents, because if you start to eat healthy food, you have to continue to eat healthy food at home with your parents. So this change of a mindset is a big investment in communication strategy. And I think in each country, it is the biggest challenge. And again, this is cultivation of the healthy nutrition. It is important for each person, each family, and we hope that all together with our partners who are helping us a lot in different ministries, in different organizations, in different countries, will help us to succeed. And as I mentioned, the challenges for the next 2 years, it is modernization of our food blocks, it is training of our chefs, and I hope that we will have peace and it will help us to succeed very quickly. Thank you. So, right now, I want to pass the microphone to Her Excellency Mrs. Carbajal from Peru. And the same question, what is the experience of your country and what are the challenges you are looking forward?
Muchas gracias, ministro. En primer lugar, yo quiero agradecer mucho a la organización de este evento por haber considerado la participación en este panel de Perú. Y atendiendo a la pregunta que me hizo el ministro, creo que es importante aprovechar los minutos que yo tengo para expresarles y decirles que en el Perú ha avanzado mucho en el diseño de políticas, implementación de estrategias, ¿no? Y el gran reto y el gran cambio que fue tener un programa de alimentación escolar fue en el año 2012. Antes de ello había un gran programa de asistencia alimentaria. Pero tener un programa nacional de alimentación escolar que en esa época alimente diariamente a más de 2 millones de niños requirió voluntad política, requirió presupuesto y un modelo diferente a lo que en ese momento se estaba dando en las escuelas, ¿no? Sí es cierto de que es importante tener claridad en las políticas. Actualmente este programa pertenece al Ministerio de Desarrollo e Inclusión Social de Perú. Ustedes dirán, pero ¿por qué no pertenece al Ministerio de Educación? Porque precisamente en este sector se lidera una gran política de desarrollo e inclusión social al 2030, que no es una política de gobierno, es una política de Estado donde el programa de alimentación escolar tiene un reto más allá de solamente ofrecer dietas nutritivas, sino tener una definición mucho más integral y holística donde hay que dar bienestar para ofrecer una ventana de oportunidades a todos los niños, niñas, adolescentes, estudiantes de escuelas inicial, primaria y algunas de secundaria. Actualmente atendemos a 4 millones, más de 4 millones de estudiantes diariamente en el Perú con varias modalidades, porque el Perú tiene ámbitos rurales, ámbitos urbanos, atendemos comunidades indígenas, comunidades que son zonas de frontera. Es por eso que el enfoque territorial es muy importante. Hay que territorializar nuestras intervenciones. Cuando yo hablaba de avances en estos últimos años, es cierto, hemos avanzado en el diseño de políticas, en la implementación de estas diferentes modalidades. Sin embargo, cuando vemos la métrica y los resultados decimos no es suficiente, hay que seguir avanzando. Por eso es que no solo a partir de la pandemia, sino también mirando el contexto que tiene el Perú, como muchos países de la región, sentimos que tenemos que integrar algunos componentes que durante este año no han estado muy fortalecidos. Si bien es cierto, la operación logística es increíble para llegar a tantas escuelas, son más de 67,000 escuelas, todavía necesitamos avanzar en otros componentes como la corresponsabilidad. Tenemos que tener más actores en esta cadena, no solamente logística, sino para que la alimentación de calidad llegue a las escuelas, pero mirando no solamente los alimentos, sino también el consumo, los resultados y los impactos de esta intervención. Otro componente importante es incorporar agentes de la comunidad para la vigilancia comunitaria en las escuelas. ¿Cómo podemos nosotros llegar a 67,000 escuelas diariamente, a visitarlas periódicamente, con sistemas que incluyan tecnología, pero tenemos que fidelizar también a la comunidad, inyectar en todos los actores de la comunidad una cultura del cuidado, de la protección de las escuelas, el cuidado no solamente en la alimentación, sino en su definición más holística de lo que es la alimentación escolar, incorporando, y este es un gran desafío seguramente para muchos países, las compras locales que provengan de la agricultura familiar. Tenemos algunos pilotos, necesitamos generar evidencias, tener más estudios, más investigaciones, más ciencia, y por eso yo celebro estos espacios en que todos los países podemos decir cuáles son nuestros avances, pero también nuestros desafíos. Tenemos que tener la participación de muchos sectores, no solamente de este sector, sino educación, salud, agricultura, producción, incluso la representación de los padres de familia en la toma de decisiones. Esto es lo que hemos aprendido durante estos años. Nuestros retos y desafíos todavía son muchos, pero sabemos que con voluntad política, con presupuestos, con esos elementos de sostenibilidad que hacen que se fortalezcan los programas de la alimentación escolar, podemos superarlos. La pandemia también nos enseñó mucho a cómo tenemos que adaptar nuestras intervenciones. Ahora tenemos un sistema de protección social adaptativa donde la alimentación escolar es un servicio muy importante. Adaptarnos ante estas emergencias, al cambio climático, también hace que se fortalezcan nuestros servicios y tener claridad cuál es el objetivo pedagógico, nutricional, dinamizar la economía local y además tener evidencias de que día a día tenemos que seguir innovando para llegar a las escuelas, para llegar con oportunidad, celeridad, sensibilidad a cada uno de estos niños y niñas. Ayer escuché en una de las presentaciones que los niños con la barriga vacía no aprenden, y es cierto, nosotros los podemos ver, pero además la alimentación escolar es universal, es un derecho. En el Perú es la mejor expresión de la alimentación adecuada. Queremos mejorar estas situaciones que tienen a los países en estado, por ejemplo, salir del mapa del hambre o de la inseguridad alimentaria. Alimentación escolar. Miremos esa ventana de oportunidades que son para los niños. Yo quiero resaltar también que Perú fue mencionado en el último informe del estado de la alimentación escolar en el 2024 como uno de los programas que pudo atender con oportunidad, celeridad, en medio de la pandemia, pudo adaptar sus servicios. Y eso es lo grato de tener un programa nacional que pueda llegar, en este caso, a más de 4 millones de niños y niñas. Yo quiero decirles que estoy muy contenta de estar aquí. Me voy llevando todas estas experiencias experiencias como la de Brasil, que ha costado más de 70 años tener un programa de alimentación escolar fortalecido. Al Perú le cueste mucho menos, igual a todos los países de la región, y puertas abiertas para los países que quieran también conocer más de la experiencia del Perú. Gracias.
Mrs. Carbajal, thank you so much. Actually, you mentioned very important thing that your local farmers, they can provide food and they can provide vegetables and all the stuff for the schools, for example, and schools can procure from the local businessmen. So it's about economy in the region. I hope that in Ukraine we will switch to that also after demining our fields. So right now, Her Excellency, Mr. Abdulkadir, can you please share with us your experience and your challenges you are looking forward in your country?
Thank you, Mr. Vice Minister, our moderator, and thank you, the audience. Allow me to set the context of Somalia's education sector before we discuss about the school meals. 3 decades of endured and protracted civil war resulted by and caused a collapse of the public service. This made an entire generation lost the opportunity to learn. But now, fortunately, we are in a recovery stage. 2 years ago, the general enrollment rate of education at the primary level was 24%, but fortunately now we are heading to 40%, reducing the 5 million out of school children into 3 million, which I hope in 2030 we will go into 0 to that number. Priorities include building the school infrastructure, training and recruiting the teachers and employing them, provision of teaching learning materials and textbooks. So coming to the school meals focus was slow and ignored in many years. But this year, steadily we are expanding to 117,000 children by our partners, including the WFP. In the last 2 years, and with regard to our membership to School Meals Coalition, we developed a country leadership for the school meals, especially developing a national policy for the school meals. Again, we adopted a national transformation plan for the coming 5 years that stated to feed all children in school at the primary level by 2030. In these policies and our transformation plan, we consider the school meal not only as a meal for a child, but as a value chain that looks varieties, including to improve the nutrition, to support the homegrown food, empower local farming and agriculture, enhance the local economies, and conserve the environment, and finally, to reduce the cost per meal, which is now above 30 cents per meal, but we are aiming to reach into less than 15 cents per meal. So from policy to the implementation, we are allocating school meals funding the first time in our economic and our budget in the coming year, 2026. And we are mobilizing multi-stakeholders, including interministerial, the finance, the agriculture, and also the community stakeholders, including the parents, local administrations, business community, and our international parents to participate in financing the school feeding programs. And also in our strategies to diversify the financing of the school meals by using some very strategic debt swap and through financing with multipliers with the multi-agencies. Challenges are still tremendous. One of it is ensuring the sustainability, and especially with the hurdles from the food systems, and also recurrent droughts and economic shocks, which is prevalent in our region and in our country. There are a lot of opportunities, which I say that our commitment and political will is the biggest opportunity that we have, positioning the school meals as a strategic safety net and a long-term investment in the human capital, and also growing global momentum through our coalition and through the local ownership is one of the advantages that we are heading. I hope in the next few years we will succeed from 10% to more to 100% in 2030 as in our National Transformation Plan. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Abdulkadir. And thank you that you mentioned the importance of the policies and national policies and how it's correlated with the budget. Because on practice, you can ask for a budget only when you have policies, it's adopted, it's approved by government. So thank you very much for highlighting this. And I want to pass the floor to His Excellency, Mr. Requena, Minister of Education, Science and Technology of Belize. I can share my mic. Okay.
Thank you very much, Minister. A very pleasant good morning. It's such a wonderful pleasure and an honor to be representing Belize here among our distinguished delegates and colleagues who are here. I want to start out by acknowledging and thanking the government and people of Brazil, certainly the World Food Program, for convening this second summit. I also want to thank other organizations such as Raïssa, the Brazilian Cooperation Agency, and others who are present here who have worked diligently to ensure that we can advance the Sustainable Meals Program in our schools. I want to start out by saying that in 2020, when the pandemic hit Belize, all schools closed. The school feeding program came to an end. Classes were held remotely for 2 years. After schools reopened, the government of Belize transformed school feeding into the National Healthy Start Feeding Program. What started as a pilot program with 900 students has over the last 2 years expanded rapidly to over 15,000 students countrywide. Belize has a population of 410,000. 30% of this are students who are below 14 years of age. Currently, 12% of primary school students and 33% of secondary school students benefit from the program. The government of Belize provides $3 Belize per child per day and reaches out to 78 schools countrywide, ensuring that children at the primary and secondary school levels receive a free meal daily. This program follows the sustainable school feeding model. Menus are developed to a standard to ensure healthy local foods are used in schools. Capacity training, such as gastronomy training, are provided for cooks who have the opportunity to be able to create and to serve flavorful meals for our students in schools. In collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Health and Wellness, we have the school garden program, and we're also advancing nutrition education across our schools. I also want to take the opportunity to thank organizations such as FAO, the World Food Program, UNICEF, and PAHO for also supporting this wonderful initiative. In collaboration with the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Education is committed to reducing and eventually banning the use of sugar, sweetened drinks, and ultra-processed foods in our schools. The target is to reduce the risk of non-communicable diseases in our school-age children. We also want to say that we consider that this program is a safety net in various ways. First and foremost, is that children receive a meal daily. This opposes the whole issue of food insecurity in our schools. It also eases pressure on parents and families because parents don't have to be finding out-of-pocket money to be able to support their children with daily meals, which at times can become very costly. Thirdly, it provides an employment opportunity. Currently, we have over 300 cooks, most of whom are mothers. They are paid a stipend, and their social security is also paid. And they form a part of the formal labor force. At the same time, they are with their children, being able to support them. The decentralization of the school feeding program has also allowed for our schools to be able to work directly with local businesses and farmers. We encourage this because it creates an opportunity to be able to support the local economy in our countries. I want to also make a special announcement here today. And I want to say that in August of this year, Cabinet gave its approval to the first ever school food and nutrition policy. This is a very important policy. And I want to share with you here that this is our policy. This policy is rooted in very important fundamental principles. The right to food security, the right to nutrition and health, the right to education. I also want to say that it signals our government's commitment to creating an enabling environment where children have the opportunity to be able to make healthy choices in relation to the foods that they eat in schools. And it also creates an awareness so that when they go home, they can also pass on this very valuable information, because it is not sufficient only to practice in school, but we want to ensure that parents and families are exposed to the importance of healthy nutrition and meals to ensure that we have growth and development in our children that is going to be conducive to their learning. And finally, I want to say that we are very proud of this policy because what it does is that it creates a roadmap as to how we want to ensure long-term sustainability in our programs. Finally, while we are a relatively new participant in this program, we're not very old, there are many great experiences that we are learning here, such as this World Summit here today. There are valuable experiences that we can take back to our country. For example, here in Brazil, Brazil has been a leader for years. And what we have seen is that they have deliberately developed policies and legislation to ensure that the feeding program is supported. They also have legislation where it is mandatory that local farmers are able to benefit from this. These are great ideas, and I'm certain that we have great ideas that are also being carried out in other countries. So we welcome this opportunity. I also want to say that we look forward to the continued collaboration and support from the various organizations that are present here. We want to strengthen our school feeding program, and we look forward to support in developing consultancies and other related important information that can help to advance our school feeding program. For us, the goal is to ensure that we move away from zero hunger, where we move towards the right to health and nutrition, the right to food security, the right to building a world of peace for all of us. I thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Requena. Actually, I think your energy motivates the whole your government. Thank you very much. And I think you're an example for all of us to motivate and persuade the reform in our countries. Thank you very much. And I want to ask here Her Excellency Mrs. Malu about your country's experiences and challenges, I think key challenges that you are looking forward in school nutrition reform.
Merci beaucoup. Je voudrais commencer par remercier le gouvernement du Brésil, de la province de Ceará, et en particulier les autorités de la ville.
And the state of Ceará and the local authorities, the Fortaleza, the mayor, for the welcoming reception. And Congo Republic, Democratic Republic has become, has turned this as a social pillar. So we have a very strategic that comes from a very shocking, alarming, and strategy that our children from that they have 5 years that they have malnutrition, chronic malnutrition. So the state decided to tackle this and validating this year our national strategy for school feeding 2025 that is going to last until 2030, and that will put us in this route and to transform in a network that will be particularly a safety network. This will show us a multiple sector approach that is going to involve our education ministry and healthy and agriculture ministries, and also the budget and finance ministry. That's very important. All of these will help us to adapt the needs of the students and our territory, and always thinking about the challenge that we have as our country. Recently survey and that we have had with the World Program. In 2023, we were able to feed 900,000 in many different schools. And the following year, we were able to extend that the program to complementary schools or supplementary schools. So we have had some meaningful steps that we have been able to take. And this is not only limited to one meal. It is actually a tool of protection and stability, and also in crisis context, security and also human crisis. In Congo, we are a victim of a very unjust war that is happening on the east part of the country, and we need to take that into account. We got a conflict on the west, on the east, And with the considerable number of people, they have no place to stay. They have been displaced. And we have also problems due to climatic, the droughts that also affect the food and for our kids. So that's why our strategy will prioritize rural area and also urgency and emergency areas, so we'll be able to respond quickly. And here, especially for school canteens, these are not the only ones with the focus. We also think about the people that have no place to live, and how can we distribute or allocate the food for the kids. For example, if the school canteen is not functioning, so we need a way that we can feed them and guarantee them the continuity of this feeding program for the kids, and also to be able to concentrate in the education, even during the hard time and crisis. So this is our program goes beyond the distribution allocation of food. So we think it's remarkable, and that can help for the children's learning. We have created gardens and for the kids, and we also teaching them, and we also learning. This is a scientific find and recovery, actually, discovery with the kids. And this like small labs that helps the children to learn life skills and especially in the scientific field. So they can learn about nutrition, sustainable hygiene, and also how to manage, especially the waste, this food waste. And that will help the students to learn and the cognitive approach. And when it comes to the future, one of the biggest challenges is the financing. And how can we scale this up? We have this strategy that we have today, nowadays, is the feeding program, national feeding program. But we also want to make sure that we reinforce and that will be transparent and collective management and public managers. So we try to mobilize the participation of the community, the parents, association, women's association. That dynamic actually favors solidarity, and we try to create a synergy between the schools and the environment. And the second challenge is when it comes to the source of financing to maintain the sustainability of the product of our programs. We try to explore new ways of finance this. We try to diversify the sources. And we always welcome the private sector and the groundbreaking initiative that will be able to have new mechanisms nationally and internationally. So our idea is to make sure that every canteen will be an equality engine. And I'm always supporting this proximity agriculture and this opening that will be able to guarantee education, economy, and nutrition, and that will be able to reinforce that and scale this up, especially for the food, the resilience. We also increase the human capital and also promote peace and for the development sustainability of our nation. Thank you.
Mrs. Malu, thank you very much, reminding us about the front lines and actually reminding us that we are having this responsibility for those children, because for some families, the school nutrition and the hot meals in school is the only opportunity to have this food this day and actually healthy food. So as a government, we have to persuade and we have to allocate budgets in order to save those children. And thank you very much for reminding us, for everyone, for us. Now I want to pass the floor to His Excellency Mr. Dingara. And do you have, I think you have your challenges and opportunities. And can you please describe, do you recognize the school meal nutrition as a safety net in your country?
Merci beaucoup. Et je voudrais, avant de répondre à votre question, traduire les salutations fraternelles du peuple burkinabé au peuple frère du Brésil pour cette opportunité qui nous permet de pouvoir nous retrouver ici et aussi traduire nos remerciements aux organisateurs, aux PAM et l'ensemble donc des acteurs qui nous permettent de nous retrouver ce matin ici. Et je m'en voudrais aussi de ne pas vous présenter mon pays. Ce matin, la conductrice qui nous menait donc à cette session ne savait pas le Burkina c'est où, le Burkina c'est quoi. Donc je m'en voudrais de ne pas vous dire que le Burkina c'est un pays de 22 millions d'habitants situé en Afrique de l'Ouest. 77% de sa population a moins de 35 ans et disons plus de 45% de sa population a moins de 15 ans aussi. C'est dire que c'est
East, the west part of Africa,
aujourd'hui ce pays est dirigé
we have a very, very young population. 40% actually of the population is young. And our government try to show revelation and is a country that is still fighting its war, and we are hopefully trying to get out of it. And the school canteen, as the predecessor said, it's a way of protection, social protection, that allows us to reduce the inequalities among children, especially the low-income children, the poorest ones, because feeding is a fundamental element for the school, especially for the quality of the special educational system device. We also this also help us to make our results better, especially educative. When we talk about social protection, I would like us to take 2 minutes to share what we have seen in Burkina Faso, especially when we mention about going through wars and how to respond to it. The food, school meals has such a very strong role, especially in the internal changes regarding to the students, especially during war times, where we have families and communities that actually they need to move to change the location. And we need to also give them these children schools, and the school canteen allows us to do this. We have this as the social network that is alongside with the population, especially the underprivileged ones. I would like to share with you also a challenge. We have to bear in mind that school meals over years has been actually generated by a partner, but Burkina Faso has tried to decentralize this, but unfortunately, the municipalities they didn't have all the competency that were necessary to tackle that challenge. So the Captain High Corvette take ownership and leadership of try to take control of this. We have more than $200 million that has been injected in the school canteen, and our greatest challenge today is how can we make our local canteens be managed and driven in a level, scholar level. Our colleague from the Congo Republic was talking about, we have developed our slogan, one school, one crop, and one school farm. This is our greatest, when a school, when a garden, a field, and a school farm. We need to, of course, water for the drinking water. We need this garden for the kids. This is the first aspect for the local canteens. So the children themselves will be able to feed, and they learn about nature, they learn how to take ownership of their own food. And so our hope is that every community will be able to feed the kids. We call it the school council, where all the community, they get together in this council for meeting. Maybe the principals, the parents, religious people. We want to help the future of our kids. It's a challenge for us. The school field, or the parents and responsible, they help us to cultivate this field, this crop field, to enable to help and feed the kids. I would like to tell you, so the network has been woven and by hand, and this is an internal development that it comes from inside. We're trying to teach the school to feed the kids, and I would like to finalize by saying, to wrap it up by saying that a lot of schools have actually been using their own local food to provide the food for the kids, and allowing every single child to be able to have the meal every single day. So I would like to conclude my words by saying Burkina Faso is a nice country. It's very welcoming, and I would like to invite you to come and visit us very soon. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Dingara. Now I want to pass the word to Mrs. Rodríguez. I think this mic should work there. Oh, yeah.
Muchísimas gracias, ministro. Muy buenos días a todos.
Thank you very much, Minister. Good morning. On
On
behalf of the government of Honduras, it's a great pleasure to be here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Brazil. Thank you very much, the Brazilian people, for organizing this great event. It's an honor to be able to be here sharing with you the challenges and progress that we have made in the national program of school meals, knowing that the school meals is a key strategy to strengthen the community resilience and promote the development of human capital. The government of the First Lady President of our history in Honduras is committed with the strengthening of our integrated social protection system that prioritizes the guarantee of fundamental rights and support to the most vulnerable sectors. That's why the national program of a school meal in Honduras constitutes one of the most important initiatives for our government and counts with the follow-up with the WFP in coordination with the Social Development Department and Education Department. Today we have 90% of the educational institutions and benefits more 1.3 children from Honduras. And I want to highlight that this program has been converted in a national reference and a regional one as well, for its inclusive and participatory focus that involves the families, the ladies, teachers, and municipal authorities for the implementation of each one of those actions, aiming at strengthening well-being and development of our children. We launched our sustainable program founded in 6 main pillars that strengthen the human right to food. Number 1, we strengthen local procurement to the family agricultures. Number 2, sustainable school meals and culturally adequate, the creation of school processes, reducing school evasion and supporting the families in vulnerable situations, especially in the climate change crisis, the guarantee of nutrition for the development, the physical and cognitive development of the children. Take into consideration the global crisis and the climate vulnerability of Honduras. The program has shown its capacity of adaptation in the extreme meteorological phenomena during the climate emergencies that we lived recently, as support with the schools, with the families of the women And PMA, we have guaranteed 3 annual cents, that's 180 years of school meals to our children. We have reduced significantly the school evasion from 1.27% to 0.7%. That has strengthened the family's resilience, so especially the most vulnerable ones. With the support of the PMA and Rockefeller Foundation, Honduras is implementing the pilot programs of fresh meals in 173 schools in the Choluteca department. It benefits 7,000 students that receive complementary meals as fruits and vegetables, trying to strengthen local economy and support the primary and secondary producers. With respect to the challenges that we have in the context of our country, the main challenge that we have to advance our national agenda is in the food insecurity, as well as nutrition insecurity and the sustainable meals of these programs. We have the poverty challenge, the social vulnerability and climate vulnerability, and uneven access to the resources impacting quality, equity, and coverage of the food interventions in the public schools in our countries. As developing countries, we also recognize the strategic importance of international cooperation, regional cooperation, promoting multi-sectorial alliances that will use and integrate the governments and social communities with the aim of designing and implementing solutions adapted to the specific realities in our country. And we also are aware of the international challenges that we face, such as the reduction of international cooperation and also that we've been listed of a country of low income. So the global crisis and the tensions in the food markets making it more difficult our sustainability and the advancement of our programs. To conclude, the strengthening of the social protection system, particularly through the national program of school meals, constitutes one key to build resilience, reduce inequalities, and foster human development. This initiative not only guarantees the fundamental right to food, but also brings special support to the most vulnerable population and brings better improvements such as staying at schools, retention, and the promotion of education. Investing in it is not only a necessary immediate response, but a bet in the communities so that they are more inclusive and better prepared to face future crisis and with the conviction to a sustainable development, fair and equanimous for everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to thank my panelists because we are right on time. I think we are the first panel which are right on time, so applause please. Also, I want to thank government of Brazil for hosting this school meal coalition. I think everything is going well. Everybody is happy. Everybody is safe. So thank you very much that we can share here our thoughts. From my side, I want to thank our First Lady Olena Zelenska to launching this reform because right now in our country it is the most ambitious reform. And I want to thank the small team. Actually, in our country, only 10 people managing the whole reform. It's our superstars and we love them very much. We thank them. And I want to say that in one hand, it is very easy. Every school day, healthy food for every child. But in another hand, it is a very comprehensive approach because it touches education, healthcare, social policy. So let's involve our governments, let's involve our NGOs, and let's make this so simple. Just give healthy food every child, every school day. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I really... You went ahead of me because that's why I was here to say I need this audience to give them a really big round of applause. This panel has shown us how it's going to be done. Now, that's the level that everyone else who's coming after should attain. No pressure to the next panel. Before we get to that, though, and please stay on because you would have a moment so that we can keep this for posterity. The team that respected time will have a snapshot for that. So first, I would like to invite His Excellency, Mr. Ville Tavio, the Minister for Foreign Trade and Development of Finland, to deliver the closing remarks for this. Please join us here.
Thank you. It's my honor to close this panel, and it was a powerful and inspiring session. Today we have heard how countries and continents are using school meals as strategic safety nets to protect children, build resilience, and invest in human capital. Finland's own journey began in the aftermath of war. We made a bold decision to provide free school meals to all children. Initially, the school meal program was created to combat malnutrition and support displaced populations. It was a transformative social innovation that helped build a more equal society. Still today, every child in Finland receives a nutritious and publicly funded daily school meal. They are a cornerstone improving child health and academic outcomes while fostering equity and economic growth. School meals are more than a national success story. They are a global recommendation. In many countries, they are a lifeline for children and families. Today's discussion reaffirmed that their central role in building resilience and human capital. We've elevated school meals as a cornerstone of social protection, supporting child development, education, health, and food security through coordinated multi-sectoral action. We've seen how countries are safeguarding children's rights and how school meals foster social cohesion, peace building, and protection from poverty and exploitation. This session has shown the strength of national leadership when school meals are embedded across sectors. Ukraine reminded us that in war, school meals can be a stabilizing force. Your investment in infrastructure shows how school meals can adapt to crisis and still deliver dignity and nutrition. Peru demonstrated how placing school meals under the social protection sector with strong legal framework and community co-responsibility can make programs more sustainable and inclusive. Somalia showed that school meals are not only a lifeline during droughts, they are a tool for peace building and social cohesion. The Democratic Republic of Congo shares a bold new strategy to institutionalize school meals aligned with national development plans and emergency preparedness. Belize emphasizes nutrition-sensitive programming, linking school meals to national health goals. Your multi-ministerial collaboration and rights-based approach are paving the way for healthier generations. The Gambia showed how, even under fiscal constraints, strategic investment in school meals can restore coverage and empower local farmers. Burkina Faso showcased the power of homegrown school feeding and community engagement. Your innovative canteen model and local procurement are driving both educational and agricultural transform. Saint Vincent and the Grenadines offered a compelling example of how school feeding programs can serve as a stabilizing force in times of natural disasters that helps communities recover and ensures children continue to receive nutrition. To support all these national efforts is why we are happy to co-chair the School Meals Coalition, and it was launched in 2021 alongside, of course, with France, Brazil, and other partners. And we must now unify our efforts and build the momentum we've created. Finland remains deeply committed politically, socially, and economically. We will continue to provide technical expertise, share tools and resources, and lead by example. From 2023 to 2025, we have allocated 12.5 million euros to this mission in multiple countries. Let us leave this session with renewed energy and shared purpose Let us continue to champion school meals, not just as a program, but as a promise to every child everywhere. Thank you.